Hey guys, so I just watched a video by Joe Rogan, and it really ticked me off. I've had a visceral reaction to it, and the reason it really pissed me off is because here you've got this guy who's an accomplished celebrity, guy's an awesome fighter, teaching George St. Pierre how to do a spinning, back kick. I mean, the dude's awesome, okay? I'll give him that. But when I'm watching this podcast and he's talking about people should pay their taxes and shut up and, pay your parking tickets and your speeding tickets and get your driver's license, and you're an idiot for not having a driver's license. With all due respect, joke, Rogan, you're a joke. You're millions of people watch that podcast, and now you've discouraged them to not find the truth, you idiot. You're a douche. May not have been your intention, but you're a douche anyway. Okay? I'm going to read some things to you, buddy. Okay? And I put a comment on this video. I'm a guy with a GED, poor, stupid. But you know what? I'll come on your show and eat your lunch, because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And you're misleading millions of people, you dunk off. So anyway, let me just read some things to you. So, believe it or not, the entire taxing and monetary systems are hereby placed under the Uniform Commercial Code. That's according to the Federal Tax Lien Act of 1966. Joe, is that fake? Is that not real, Joe? Dumas. Anyway, like I said, I'm really upset about this. So let's move on here, Joe. Let's talk about commercial law. There are 3 forms of law in the Constitution. I've done this on other videos. So one of them is the commercial law. Okay, that is the first law. Okay, first law ever in written history anyway. So here we go. Under the laws of commerce, truth is sovereign. It's one of the 10 maxims of commercial law. The foundations of the Uniform Commercial Code, or UCC, is commercial law. The foundation of commercial law is based upon certain universal, eternally just, valid, moral precepts and truths. The basis of commercial law is the law of Exodus of the Old Testament, i.e. the 10 Commandments, Joe, and the Judaic Orthodox Hebrew commercial law of Moses. I know he's not quite as famous as you, joke, but anyway, the laws of commerce, unchanged for at least 6,000 years, Joe, form the basis of Western civilization, if not all nations of the world. Therefore, commercial law applies universally throughout the world. Joey. Tell me, Joe, people should pay their taxes and people should, obey the laws and pay their tickets. Let me ask you a question. If Ben-Hur didn't put his blinker on in his chariot, did he get a ticket? Numbnuts? So you think somehow, because it's thousands of years later, we're smarter than maybe our ancestors were? Way wrong, buddy. Way wrong. And I'm sad to tell you that you're a dumbass. Inadvertent or not, unwitting or not, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, buddy. Do some research before you spout out of your pie hole, okay? Because you're hurting people. You're discouraging them from finding the truth. Just because you're comfortable enough and you're still a slave, buddy. You're an indentured servant just because you've got enough money and cars and whatever bullshit you've got. You still aren't free, dude. So, big deal. You're a highly paid slave. Congratulations. Anyway, I'll go on. Commercial law is non-judicial. It is prior to, superior to, and the basis of, and cannot be set aside or overruled by the statutes of any government, legislature, governmental or quasi-governmental agencies, courts, judges, and law enforcement agencies, all of which are under an inherent obligation to uphold said commercial law. Joey. Furthermore, commercial law is a war of truth. It's an interesting word, Joe. Truth. You should start searching for the truth instead of spewing your opinion. So commercial law is a war of truth expressed in the form of an intellectual weapon called an affidavit. This is a war of truth. That's what we're in. Everything is contracts, folks, everything. If you decide that you're going to go work out, you don't tell anybody, you just decide in your mind. You made a contract with yourself. Everything's a contract, okay? You know, anything that I say here, please prove me wrong. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see you prove it wrong. It's not possible, but I'd love to see you try. Come on, bring me on your show, bud. Anyway. As I said, commercial law is a war of truth, and it's expressed in the form of an intellectual weapon called an affidavit. Hold on, there we go. An affidavit is simply a written list of facts or truths signed under the penalty of perjury and usually notarized. The person making and signing an affidavit is called an affiant. Makes sense? It is survival of the fittest, where the last unrebutted affidavit stands triumphant as truth. Another one of the 10 maxims of commercial law. An unrebutted affidavit stands as truth. He who does not assert his rights has none. If you see a wrong and you don't write an affidavit proclaiming that it's wrong, you occasion the wrong. That's in the Bible, guys. You know, regardless of whether you're religious or not, those are the laws and the rules that have been around for thousands of years. This isn't me saying this. I don't know jack, but I'm learning. So, you know, dude, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So listen to this. Unidroit, along with the International Law Conference, or whatever the heck it is, wrote the Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, which is based on commercial law. Okay? Unidroit is owned and operated by the Vatican, and they intend to enforce their religious ceremony on millions of people on the land in America and elsewhere in the world. This is further proof that the corporation called the United States is owned and operated by the Vatican to further their agenda, and they are using their commercial law to enforce their martial law. Again, prove me wrong, bud. Prove me wrong. No law compels a private sector, non-governmentally privileged work-eligible man or woman to submit a W-4 or W-9 form or their equivalents, nor to obtain or disclose a Social Security number as a condition of being hired or of keeping his job. You know, go look up the statutes. Go look up the laws, bud. I mean, dude, be informed about things before you spew out stuff. Just make yourself look like a fool. Or worse, people believe you and think that you know what the hell you're talking about. You're screwing people. What do you care? You're rich. Dude. No law compels a private... Oh, sorry, I did that. With the exception of an order from a court of competent jurisdiction issued by a duly qualified judge, no amounts can be lawfully taken from one's pay for taxes, fees, or other charges without the worker's explicit, intentional, knowing, voluntary, written consent. Everything that happens to you that's done by a cop, a judge, the government, a corporation, a company, whoever it is, you give consent to it. You might not know you're giving consent, but you are. So, you know, again, I've said this many times, this stuff isn't super easy. It's not like reading 2 + 2 is 4 and now I'm good. Nobody's going to... No, it takes some studying. Is it worth it? I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? So, I'm going to go through here and just find a couple of other things that are interesting. Let's see. Sorry about this. I'm just trying to find some good stuff here. But you know, dude, do your research. Buy this book. Buy this book. You want to know what's going on? Buy the book. Read it like 12 times. People are going to tell you you're crazy. They're going to tell you you're crazy. Because, and the sad thing is, you know what you're talking about, and they're ignorant. And they're going to be righteous in telling you that you're a fool. Oh, sovereign citizen. Such a stupid term. Doesn't even make sense. Can't be a sovereign. You can be a sovereign, or you can be a citizen. One, a man or woman cannot be a sovereign citizen unless you're a sovereign citizen of your state. Maybe. I'm not sure how that technically works, but you cannot be a sovereign citizen of the federal United States. It's a corporation. So, you know, again, I feel bad because I'm kind of like lipping off here, but, you know, come on, guys. You guys need to do your research here. You know, I still have to read this book over and over. And you know what? I've read it quite a few times, okay? This isn't easy stuff. It isn't, you know, it's legal jargon, you know, so you have to read it and go, all right, what the hell did I just read? I don't know what I read. I read all the words. I thought I understood it when I read it, and now if you ask me about it, I don't know shit. But eventually you get it. It gets pounded into your brain. Trust me. Trust me. I didn't know any of this stuff. And so what it really comes down to here is that even though they've created the UCC, I mean, the Unidroit, from what I heard from Justinian Deception, that the Unidroit Treaty of 1974, I don't know if that's the year or if that's a thing, but probably it is. Anyway, they tried to get Kennedy to sign it. He refused. You know, a few weeks later, he's murdered, and LBJ immediately signed it afterwards. And, of course, Unidroit is the UCC. And so what they've done is, you know, they've brought the Admiralty law jurisdiction to the land. You know, Admiralty is the law of the seas. It's commercial international law. It was created so that other countries can deal with other countries, you know. But it's not supposed to be mandated upon a natural man or woman, you know, unless you've entered an international contract and you've broken the contract. Well, I don't remember signing one of those, so I deny one exists, and I require the court to bring one forth so I can contest the facts of this contract that I allegedly signed. But I mean, you probably wouldn't even have to do that, because if you reserve your rights, UCC 1-308, once you do this, everything is brought back to the common law. The common law, God's law, if you want to call that. I don't profess or unprofess any religion. It's stupid to get into that. It's irrelevant. It really is irrelevant concerning this. So, do your research, guys. Don't listen to Joke Blogan and these other people that tell you that, and you know, that all they do is talk about the people that failed. Well, those people failed. You know why? Because they didn't learn enough. They learned a little bit, and then they said, oh, this is good enough. You know, and one guy went into a courtroom, and he reserved his rights on the ticket, right? Without prejudice, UCC 1-308. When he got into court, the judge said, what do you mean by reserving your rights? And he said, well, I don't... without prejudice. He said, well, I'm not prejudiced against anybody. What a moron, dude. So the judge knew he didn't know what he was talking about, so guess what? He got adjudicated. Didn't have to, but he did. So, learn what you're doing. Watch my other videos. Read this book. It's better than watching any of my videos. I'm just a guy. 15 minutes. See you later.